Hi, my name is Joe, and in this video, I'm gonna do a short, overview of should you install your own fence. So typically, when most people are looking to install their own fence, it's for a few reasons, and typically that is, one is to save money, two is to have pride in knowing the fact that you installed your own fence. The third most common is to prove someone else that you can actually do it. Some it might be a bet or with your buddies, and they're like, oh, you can't install your fence, and you want to prove them wrong. And then the final thing is basically getting some exercise, or maybe you're just bored. Who knows? So to figure out if you really should take this on, you have to know a few key items of what to expect. So the first thing is, how much money can you save installing your own fence? And for this, typically, I'm gonna just say for an average 150-foot layout for vinyl or for some sort of wood, it's gonna be about 23 posts. That's typically what it's gonna be. Could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less. And for that, most companies are going to charge you between $35 and $40. So you're going to be looking around $800 to $900 for the installation. But the one thing you have to remember is in that price, they do include the concrete as well. So if you're going to do this yourself, you're not really going to save $800 to $900. You're probably going to be closer to $700 to $800 because the concrete's going to cost you around $100. Okay. And then from there, you have to figure out how you're getting the concrete to your house. So if you don't have a truck, you need to either talk to a buddy or you need to rent a truck. Now, Home Depot does offer the truck rentals, and typically they're like $20 for the first 75 minutes. Or you can even have it delivered to your house. If you have a larger install, it might be worth it to you. And then I think at that point it might be like $60 to have it delivered to your house. And then you don't have to deal with it. So there's that for you. The other thing that you have to worry about is, how difficult is it to install a fence? And I'm going to be completely honest, it's not rocket science. So basically there's three things you have to learn how to do. And those three things are, first you have to learn how to dig a hole, which is simple. The second thing you have to do is set the post properly. Again, that's simple as well. And then the third thing is how to hang gates. And again, it's simple. Basically you just put in hinges and a latch on. It's not rocket science. It's very simple to do. Pretty much anyone can do it as long as you're physically able to do the job. Now, a lot of people are asking, how long does it take to install a fence? And for that, it really depends on how your ground conditions are. So where I am in Deptford, it's very easy to dig the holes. So, compared to Mullica Hill, which is only about a 15-minute drive, they have a lot of clay. And in the summertime, when clay gets really hard, it gets like concrete. So, obviously as owning a fence company, we're not hand digging a lot of things unless we need to. So we have the proper augers and other equipment. Now, when it comes to, Deptford, you can easily hand dig, and a lot of times my guys will just because it's so simple. Now, when it comes to, again, Mullica Hill, if you're not using the proper equipment, it's going to take you forever. And even with the proper equipment, and for Mullica Hill, we'll go with bigger like mini skid steers. And even with that, they have a hard time getting through. Now, a simple way to get around that is just by adding water and then letting it sit for a few hours, and that'll usually soften it up for you. The last thing, again, this is a brief overview. I will go back to this post and start adding more and more information, and I'll actually add videos, like how-to videos of how to dig the hole, set the post, and all that kind of stuff. But the final thing we're going to talk about is what do you need to do before installing the fence. So there's a few things. First, you need a survey. Typically, most towns are going to want a survey for getting a permit, but also you really want a survey if you're going anywhere near the property lines, because if you make a mistake and you think you're within your boundary, but then you find out after the fact that you're a foot over, well, you're going to have to remove that entire side. Let's say you're not going to be too happy with that, or your neighbor. So the next thing after the survey is you need to get your approval from your HOA or homeowners association. Townships will not give you a permit unless the homeowners have already signed off on that. And then the final thing, well, not the second to last thing, is getting your permit from the township. And this is usually pretty simple. You'll go to the municipal building, you'll take a copy of your survey and a check. Typically, most towns are anywhere from free to about $75, depending where you live. Basically, the closer you get to Cherry Hill, the more money you're going to spend. Just how it is. And then the final thing you absolutely must do before you install your fence is you must call to have your underground utilities marked out. So typically you want to do this about 5 business days before your fence installation. And what these will mark out are any public utility lines. So that'll be your water, your gas, your sewer, and your electric. Note, this is only for the public utilities. And this is basically when the house was first installed, these are the primary lines that are ran. Now, if you have work done after the house was installed and you have pool lines or propane lines for the barbecue, or if you have, electric lines ran for one for the pool or 2 for like a detached garage, something like that, they are not included. So, especially when it comes to anything gas related, I'm always super careful of, because you don't want to blow yourself up. And so if you have like a pool heater or the propane lines, you do want to have them marked out by the company that installed them, if at all possible. Okay. And sorry for that, you're basically going to call 811. It's super simple. When you call them up, they're going to ask for your lot and block. Most people don't have it, and then instead you're going to give them the address, what township you're in, who's going to be installing the fence, and when you're installing the fence. Take you about 15 minutes to do, and it's pretty simple. So I hope that answered some of your questions. Below is the blog post of a little bit more detail for you. And again, as time goes on, right now it's February, so once the weather gets nicer, we're going to be updating this post with all the correct videos for how to dig the holes, set the post, mark your, for the string line, all that kind of stuff. So basically, it'll answer every question you have. All right, have a great day. Thank you.